How do, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. And as you've seen above, yes, we are back on the Abarth. So within this video, you will see why the wheel was bent. I found the problem. Get another injury. You always be cutting yourself. We replaced the wing. Go, new wing. Get some good news. So I also found out from actually doing a bit more investigation. Finally get the V5. A bloody month. Have our first drive. Take it for his first drive. Find another problem. I am getting quite a bit of a knock. And so on and so forth. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let you watch the video. How do, ladies and gents? I hope you're all doing well. So as you've seen from the description above, we're back on the Abarth. So in this video, guys, what we're going to do is drag your light. Bear with. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Right, so in this video, we are going to fix the actual wing and find out what that is. So luckily, I have a new wing on its way. eBay is brilliant on that fact, and it is the same color and it's got the same decor there, so that is fantastic. Like I said, I've got the wing on order. It's now trying to find out why this tracking is out. Now when I drove it off the driveway back onto the driveway, the wheel turned and everything like that, so I can't see anything being broken. I didn't hear any knocking, I just heard a lot of scratching like a flat tyre, but that's obviously because the tracking's way out on this wheel. So right, let's see what the problem is. I found the problem. So when it took that smack, it is literally bent this entire steering joint. Look at the bend on that. Wow. So but this is the funny thing. So I've now got to put everything obviously back on just because I need to move it back off because I haven't got the part for it. But what gets me, everything else looks absolutely fine. Let me show you. So as you can see, there's obviously a little scrape here, for that's obviously from where the car is actually taking the wheel in. But everything else on here looks absolutely fine. Obviously, except for this. Suspension looks absolutely perfect. All we're having to contemplate, or sorry, all we're having to deal with is wing and steering joint. I must be honest, that is an absolute result. So unfortunately, I've just rung up my local motor parts area. They don't have one. It's going to be coming in tomorrow. So I need to move the car over there. I also found out that the gap in there, because I've got one of them universal tools that you basically put round the tie rod, inner tie rod, and then you screw it up. There's no way I can fit that in there, so I'm going to have to use one of them ones that literally goes straight over the top and then do it that way. Luckily, a friend of mine has one, so I'm going over there now to go collect it. And like I say, we're going to have to cut to tomorrow, I'm afraid, which will be in like 2 seconds for you, but 24 hours for me. And then we'll be fitting it. And we're back. And I have some good. That steering joint is under a lot of tension because it's literally just popped back as soon as I started undoing it. I'm not going to be able to get my tool on there, so I'm going to have to use the grinder. But always remember, guys, safety first. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Boom! I can hear you guys in the comments right now. I know that is probably the stupidest way of doing things and everything like that, but it's done. Well guys, after about half an hour, 40 minutes, it's finally come off. There's hardly any room, and I hate these type of clips. They are a pain in the rear end. But luckily it is off. It's a once use. I had to butcher it because it's a once use only. So yeah, that's off. So now we can look at fitting the new one. So luckily my mate let me borrow his special tool. This is going to make things so much more easier because the amount of room I've got in there, I've got one that's basically like a U-clamp and you put a ratchet on at the bottom and it ain't going to fit in there. So this is the best tool to use. So if you haven't got these sort of things, guys, get one. You've got to love it when you've got the right tools. Mechanics will know you can never have nice hands when you work on cars, and you're always, sorry, I'm not giving you the finger. But well, I am kind of. But yeah, you always be cutting yourself, bleeding, and God knows what else. But you'll notice the thing is my partner says it to me all the time, oh, you need to wash that. Guys and mechanics and things like that, they're like, ah, just wipe it on something and carry on. Probably not the best of things, but oh well. Well, there's that gator on. I'll tell you what, that's probably taken me just as long putting that on and putting the cable tie around it than it was taking it off. So now I've got to put this on. Now I can only do this by eye because it's going to have to be laser tracked, but if it's anything better, well, anything's better than what it was originally, so alright, let's crack on. There she is, finished product. Like I say, I know that's not going to be completely in line, but that's a hell of a lot better than it was before. And yeah, so all we need now is the wing, and then I'll get around to doing that. So yeah, at least it's not going to crab and blow a tyre now from just moving it about. So let's wait for the wing. Go, new wing. So now we can get started on ripping this one off. First things first, what I want to do is I'm going to put a bit of this tape over. Now, some people are already wondering why, but these bolts or nuts or whatever are painted, and I don't want to knacker them up because when they go on, I don't want them to rust or be chewed or anything like that. So put a bit of tape on them, at least when I put my socket on there. They won't destroy them. Also, the good thing about having the bumper like this, sorry, having a spare wing, is I can find out now what I need to do to remove this one. So it looks like I do need to remove some bits on here, but first thing I need to do is to remove this wheel arch lining. As always with things like this, there's always one you can't get out, and that one is this one under here, which has just literally broke 2 of my screwdrivers, and that ain't coming out. But luckily I don't need to get it out the whole way to be able to get to all this, which is fantastic. It's covered in underseal, this, and you're trying to figure out, well, I was trying to figure out what it could possibly be, but that's all it is. It's literally covered in so much underseal. It kind of buried it. I thought it was some special bloody type of nut, but no, it's not. So technically that should now come off, he says, but whether it will or won't, soon find out. So unfortunately guys, the GoPro actually decided to fail on me. Battery ran out, so I literally just finished it. And what a pig this was. Now, as you can see, the line does not match up because they are done to the car. But I must admit, it does look very, very, very good. I'm really happy. And as you can see, this is all the damage done to this one. I had to give it a bit more here just to try and get it out of the way, because obviously I couldn't get to a certain bit of it there. But good thing is, this was a bit I was worried about, because obviously the panel gap is actually pretty tight, but it is right. And if you look, oh my, that is so close. And I must admit, I was freaking out. And then if I shut it, it's so close. But it's the same on the other side. It is going to need a bit of paint. It's got a bit of a scratch here. We've also got a scratch just under here. So yeah, it is going to need a bit of paint, but it doesn't need to be done right this second. But the biggest pain with these, the actual wings themselves are actually moulded onto the car, as in they put underseal between the gaps and things like that. So they are stuck like this, as you can see on the old one there. But the biggest pain for this, all honesty, trying to get that out. That one ended up coming out really nicely. That one wouldn't come out. Sorry, the one that was actually on this wing would not come out very well, so in the end I had to get pliers and break it. But luckily the one that came with this car is okay. And I've got some other good news. So I also found out from actually doing a bit more investigation, I don't actually need to do an MOT to this, because it's still got MOT. On a Cat N you don't need to do an MOT. On a Cat S I believe you do. So this has got perfect MOT, so I could drive this around as soon as I get the V5 come through, and then we can stick it on the track-in, and then that will probably be it. So let's wait till the V5 comes through so I can put it on the road, and then we'll go for our next drive. Finally, after a month, the V5 has finally come through. So what I need to go do now is take it to go get its tracking done, so we can now take it for its first drive. A bloody man! So like I say, guys, I've got to take this easy because the tracking is out, and it's out by quite a bit. Wow, you can definitely tell it's out. It's just straight by eye, but that means nothing. But there is a bit of a knock coming from the front, which I kind of knew about when I took it for a little bit of a run just around where I live. But hopefully I can take it to my mate's garage to find out what that is. I'm thinking it's something like a ball joint, which would make sense considering it is actually had a hit from over there. But you never know, even the guys doing the tracking might spot something while it's up on their ramp. But like I say, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they can fit me in. But what I can do is I can just leave the car with them. Luckily it's only around the corner from where I live, and I'm happy enough to do that. So yeah, we'll see. So let's get to the place. Well, we're here. Sorry if the wind's really bad. Hopefully they can fit me in, but we'll soon see. So yeah, bear with. Well, there we go, spot on. They couldn't fit me in right now, but I've left the car with them because luckily, like I said, I only live around the corner. So we'll get that done and then we'll go for a proper drive. So guys, one thing I did notice actually when I drove it that short amount of time, them seats are absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong. You know, they hug you and you know you're not going to move, but you sit so high up, and when you're touching the controls and stuff, I don't know, it just doesn't feel, it feels like you need to be a lot lower. So I need to have a look, and there's probably a load of fellow Abarth owners out there that have got the same seats as me. Sorry about the wind, guys, it's really bad today. And they're either feeling the same thing, or there might be some sort of modification where you can take, I don't know, maybe a foot out of the bottom of the seat or something, because the leather ones you normally get aren't like that. So I'll have to look to see if there's some sort of mod you can do to the seats. So there we have it, she is back. As I thought, the left wheel was out by an absolute mile, but I am getting quite a bit of a knock. It sounds like it's from the right, which is very strange considering, but like I say, there's no chance I can actually really figure it out until I actually put it up onto the lift and have a proper look. But yeah, that's sort of the thing with these sort of things, because I couldn't do it, as a lot of you know, until you get something up high, you can't really figure stuff like that out, because you need to be able to actually pull on it. And if I'm lying underneath and it's on jacks and stuff, I haven't got enough, well, there's not enough room really, because you've only got about this much room to be able to do it. So that ain't gonna happen. I gotta admit, I'm loving this Monza exhaust which is on the back. It's all standard and everything, but it does sound the nuts. I tell you, like I said earlier, these seats, you just sit up really high. There's not a lot of room, because I'm quite tall, there's not a lot of room between me and the top, but you're pushing down like this on the actual pedals in this one, rather than my Mrs. Old Abarth where I had the leather seats. You were pushing forward, because this has got, like I say, another, I think it's on a frame or something, but I have to, like I said earlier on, I'll have to see if there's some sort of modification for it, but we'll see. Anyway, let's take it for a drive, a good drive, and see what we're dealing with. Now we're on the open road, let's give it a little bit. Jeez! Oh, she's got some good pickup, and that's not even with the sport button on. Oh wow. Like I say, my missus one, when I drove that was the standard 135 horsepower. With this one, the 595, sorry, 595, done that last time. The 595 is 180 horsepower, especially in this one. And it's just, it's rapid. Go on, girl. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a lot of fun in this. And like I say, what I love about it is as well, it's still got a full tank. Can't moan at that whatsoever. But like I say, the person who owned this previously has really looked after this. It is really in good nick. But one of the first things I need to do, obviously, as well, once obviously I've checked on underneath, is I'm going to take it straight to Abarth and get them to do the cam belt on it. With things like cam belts, it's not like I say I can't do it. It's I'd rather have the guarantee of the actual cam belt being done. With the Mini, it's a whole different ball game. The whole engine needs to be stripped down anyway. But with something like this, it just needs to be done. Cam belt, water pump, every new car I get, regardless, always has a cam belt and water pump done, either by the dealer or by a garage that I trust. And that's the other thing as well, is it's also trying to find a garage that you trust. That's a hard point. Well, it's been multiple days since you last saw on the video, and luckily I've been able to put it up on a ramp at my mate's garage. So we found a few things out. So I was wondering why it was constantly noisy, even when you went into sports mode, and because whoever did own this put a wire through that and held that completely open permanently, no matter if you hit sports mode or not. But from having a look underneath, she looks really, really clean. And the reason why I said that I actually did want to put it up on the ramp, well, you can remember there was a knocking from the front, and I think there's a possible knocking from the back. But the reason why I've also taken that off rather than keeping it on, and I know a lot of you will say keep it open because it's noisy and what have you, but as I work shifts, I can't imagine my neighbours at 3 o'clock in the morning would be happy enough to hear that. Right, so I think I figured out why it's making a load of noise from the back. At first I thought it was this, because that is making a bit of a racket from up there. Then you wouldn't believe that there was stuck in there in the bottom of the shop. So what it was doing is it was bottoming out on that and making a hell of a noise in here. So that there was just stuffed in it. So the good thing is, well, let's get some light. So I know I'm an ugly sight. But luckily now we can figure out what the noise is from the back. I've now found what the noise is from the front. And no doubt a lot of you have probably guessed this, because it is a common thing to do with these Abarth. Yep, you guessed it. Top mounts. Luckily, the shop that I usually get a lot of my stuff from, that's helped me with a lot of my projects, as you've seen, they've got some in stock. So I'm going to shoot down there now, and I'm going to go get some, put them on, and then hopefully Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and you'll be sorted. This is why you have someone else do the work. Well, it's also handy coming to a garage because they've got all the stuff that I ain't got. And that tool makes it 10 times more easier to take these off. Otherwise I'll be half-arsing it and really screaming. This is exactly why you want to come to somewhere like this. Because you got all the tools here. Can you imagine really doing this at home like I do in your garage? See, I've got spring compressors, then you've got this bit of kit, and just having the car over there like that on a ramp, it has made things 10 times more easier being here. I really need to get a ramp, because that has just saved me probably about 3 hours doing it on my back with a set of jacks. Get a ramp! In all seriousness, if this channel starts really taking off, I'm going to have to look into something like this, because like I say, it's 10 times more easier doing it like this, as you all know who are doing it like this. And you're probably wondering why I put Tipex on that. The reason being is because if anything does change, I know exactly where it's gone back again. But I tell you, this is a fantastic tool, really is. So yes, back in. What I've done as well is I've put some grease within this, because hopefully that'll give it a bit more life and what have you. But yeah, supposedly magic grease, I've been told. Magic grease. When doing this, guys, as simple as it is sounding, make sure that you've got to pull this one off, pull this out. Now this is fiddly because it's got like a little spring on this side. Always remember that. And then you've got this one straight at the bottom here, on there. And obviously 2 bolts here, your link rod at the top. Like I say, she's in there now. Just need to do the top bolt up there, and we are golden. fully complete. Everything that needed fixing is done. I've just been driving around for the last 10 minutes going over bumps, and them top bushes have fixed the whole front suspension. No more knocks, no more bangs. Everything is tight and spot on, which is fantastic. So the next video is more likely going to be some styling modifications, because I'm going to start off with a little bit slowly, because I've got obviously the bobber project that I'm doing at the moment as well. I'm just about to hit a massive bill with that for the powder coating for the frame and everything. So we're more likely going to do some styling modifications. But put some comments down below, guys, of what you think of this video, what you think of the Abarth, and what sort of modifications you think I should do. I'm going to now shoot off and get it in sports mode and do some more driving about, very happily knowing that this car is now 100% okay, and it's only cost me around about £200 to fix this from the problems it's had. So I am absolutely over the moon. So do us a favour, guys, hit like, hit subscribe to keep up with more future content, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys, stay safe, ta-da.